It seems that a lot of people have been doing this thing where they hold something small in between their fingers and talk into it, whether it be a microphone or something attached to a microphone. So I'm gonna pretend I have a microphone until I can afford one. And until then, Mr. Mike Wazowski is going to keep me company. Hi. I have made so many attempts at doing this, at sitting down and just talking and yapping, trying to figure out what I could be yapping about. I thought maybe I would just talk about the books, the last 3 books that I have read, because I haven't talked to anyone about them yet, so we can do that now. One of them I just finished last night, and I have thoughts. I have some thoughts. So yeah, let's just get into it. Okay. The book that I finished, I had literally just finished last night, is The Pisces by Melissa Broder. I have read Milk Fed by her and I loved it. It was exactly my taste. It was unhinged, it was entertaining, it was absurd, it was provocative, it was funny. The Pisces is a book about a 30-year-old woman who is depressed due to, but not only because of her recent breakup with her ex-boyfriend, and she moves from Phoenix to LA to dog sit her sister's dog while she's on vacation. And there she meets and falls in love with a merman. And this whole synopsis just sounds so absurd, which is why I was so intrigued by it. I was really excited to have something entertaining, something funny, something unhinged. And I loved the first half of it. I was highlighting so many things, I was giggling, I was constantly sharing quotes. But once the book gets to the part where she gets more involved with this merman, I feel like that's where it kind of got flat for me, because what intrigued me was how she was navigating through different relationships with different kinds of people within the book, and that's what made her interesting to me in her circumstances, in her situation. And it was still very fun. I'd say that I preferred Milk Fed more, but this one was still fun. I gave it 3 stars. I'm not sure who I would recommend this to, but I guess if you're a fan of not taking literature too seriously and diving into a book that just kind of experiments, maybe this one would be for you. The book that I read prior to that is one that I've had on my radar for a long while, and I've had such high expectations for it, which is probably a main reason why I ended up not loving it, just because I projected something onto it that I kind of had built up in my mind, because I thought this would be one thing and then it ended up being another thing. Obviously a very subjective issue, but the book that I'm talking about is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Well, my thoughts are still lingering with this book. I liked it. I liked it for its uniqueness. I liked the idea that it tried to explore. I just wish it would have been done in a different context. And I'm not going to say a lot about the plot, because I feel like it's a book that you have to know almost nothing about before reading it. Or actually, let me read the little blurb on the back. Okay. Piranesi lives in the house. Perhaps he always has. Then messages begin to appear, scratched out in chalk on the pavements. There's someone new in the house. But who are they and what do they want? Lost texts must be found, secrets must be uncovered. The world that Piranesi thought he knew is becoming strange and dangerous. I feel like it's very intriguing. I think the cover kind of deceived me because I thought it would be a Greek mythological retelling, but for the curious readers, I guess I would recommend this book. It was so fun. I'm glad I read it. I feel like this is a book where you either understand it and can appreciate it for what it was, or you just have a lot of question marks in your head. And I'm probably second. Okay, let me just make sure it's focusing on us. Are we focused? I think we are. The last book out of the 3 that I have recently read that I would like to mention is a little masterpiece called The Truth Must Dazzle Gradually by Helen Cullen, who is an Irish author. This is a book that packs a punch. Make sure you check the content warnings if you decide to get a copy of this book. But essentially, the narrative centers around an Irish family that lives on a small little island on the west coast of Ireland. I feel like I have not quite processed this novel yet, so maybe it would be better if I just read this slab on the back so you can get a better impression of what the book is about. On an island off the west coast of Ireland, the Moon family gathers. Maeve is an actor struggling with her most challenging role yet. As a mother to 4 children, Murda, her devoted husband, is a potter whose craft brought them from the city to this rural life. In the wake of one fateful night, the Moon siblings must learn the story of who their parents truly are and what has happened since their first meeting years before outside Trinity College in Dublin. We watch as one love story gives rise to another until we arrive at a future that none of the Moons could have predicted, except perhaps Maeve herself. This book is not a book that a lot of people have on their radar. I haven't come across it until I had to read it for a seminar, and I am so incredibly grateful that I had the opportunity to read the book as well as listen to author share insights on the writing process, on the thoughts behind this book, because I feel like this book is very unique in the way it employs characters that essentially drive this story, because the characters feel very vivid. I don't think I've ever connected to characters that quickly and that closely like I did with this book. And then beginning, the main part of the book opens up with the love story of how the parents met when they were young, and already then, like in the beginning of those few chapters, you get to know them so well. I have obviously not processed this book yet. I would love to just recommend this book to anyone who is very interested or intrigued by family dynamics, relationships, how family members navigate through their lives, how they interact with each other, and how they're trying to find their own identity and place themselves in a society. This is a book where I would wish that I would have the ability to just reset and read it for the very first time. Yeah, and that was a third and last book that I wanted to mention. I guess this was kind of fun. I'll see where this goes. If you watch this incredibly awkward tiny little silly video, then thank you so much, and I guess it is goodbye for now.